How you guys doing? I'll be starting my second out of three lessons in the vision that Obadiah had on the judgment of Edom. I'm going to go start at verse 10 and go to 16. For the violence against your brother Jacob, shame shall cover you, and you shall be cut off forever. Two things were to happen to Edom. Shame was to cover Edom. Babylon was able to capture the city of Petra and take its inhabitants into captivity, and they shall be cut off forever. The nation of Edom was to be destroyed. Esau was a representation of Edom. Jacob, the representation of Israel. Israel was in covenant with God. Edom rebelled against God in a warlike fashion. In the day that you stood on the other side, in the day that strangers carried captive his forces, when foreigners entered his gates, and cast lots for Jerusalem, even you were as one of them. Edom celebrated and brutally stared with satisfaction as God's people, Jacob representing Israel, were under siege. When someone rejoices over the trouble of another, they are hated by God, for God hates pride. Esau, representing the Edomites, robbed their neighbors, which was Israel. They robbed them. They were supposed to be brotherly neighbors, and helped give them over to their pursuers. You should not have entered the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Indeed, you should not have gazed on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Pride leads people into sin. Stealing is, thievery is one of those characteristics of that sin. A proud man lives apart from God. Not only did Edom join in with Israel's enemy, when taken into captivity, Edom moved in right after them to loot and to plunder, take everything they had. Kind of like vultures clearing the highways and byways of roadkill. Just take whatever, free for all. You should not have stood at the crossroads to cut off those among them who escaped, nor should you have delivered up those among them who remained in the day of distress. When Nebuchadnezzar invaded Jerusalem, the inhabitants scattered, fleeing to the rugged country of Edom, their neighboring brotherly country next door to them. They fled to those craggy rocks. The Edomites stood at the crossroads and intercepted them, cutting their own brothers' nation off, betraying them, and taking them away from their hiding place. They took their hiding place away from them. For the day of the Lord upon all nations is near. As you have done, it shall be done to you. Your reprisal shall return upon your own head. Edom is going to inherit the same calamity Israel had endured. God's cup of wrath will come upon them even worse. His chastisement on his peoples, worse than the chastisement that God did on his own people. It's going to be worse for Edom. That goes for nations today as well. No country is safe from God's wrath. No country. Not a one. For as you drank on my holy mountain, so shall all the nations drink continually. Yes, they shall drink and swallow, and they shall be as though they had never been. What goes around comes around. That's been since the beginning of time, the beginning of history. Matthew 7:1, judge not that you be not judged. And in Galatians we read, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. I'll tell you, I fear that I live in the nation that shot off the first atomic bomb. killed a lot of people, did a lot of damage. Was that our place to do that? I won't say anything else on that. Well, I'll be back with the last lesson. We'll do Obadiah 17 through 21, and that'll end Obadiah, and I'll go into something a little more that has to deal with current events of today next time. Okay? Thank you, guys.